Listen to me. Before you give your energy to a job, before you give your time to people who don't even respect it, before you pour yourself out for a world that will replace you in a second, you better learn how to invest in you. Because here's the truth. If you break down, if you lose your fire, if you let yourself go, everything connected to you suffers. See, some of you are busy giving everybody else your best while giving yourself your leftovers. You're grinding for validation, trying to prove your worth to people who don't even know your name. But the question I have for you today is this: what happens when the lights go off? What happens when the applause stops? What happens when the people you've been chasing walk away? If you never learn to invest in yourself, you'll be empty, broken, and tired with nothing left to give. Not critics. And I need you to hear me. This speech isn't about motivation that makes you feel good for 5 minutes. No, I'm talking about transformation. I'm talking about shifting the way you see yourself. Because the reality is, the greatest return you'll ever get in life is not from stocks, not from crypto, not from real estate. The greatest return is from pouring into you, your mind, your body, your spirit, your discipline. If you can lock in on that, if you can commit to becoming the best version of yourself first, I promise you, the money will come, the opportunities will come, the respect will come. But it all starts with you deciding that you are worth the investment. So don't move. Don't zone out. Lean in. Because what I'm about to share with you tonight might just be the difference between you living average and you living unstoppable. Listen to me. Your growth is your greatest asset. I need you to understand this. Because too many people are chasing the wrong things. Too many of you are running after money, after likes, after recognition, after people's approval. But you're not chasing growth. And that's why you stay stuck. That's why you keep hitting the same wall year after year. Because no matter how much you hustle, no matter how many hours you put in, if you don't grow, your life won't grow. See, here's the truth: opportunities don't go to the most talented people. They go to the people who are prepared. Success doesn't just fall into your lap. It comes to the one who has been sharpening their gift day after day when nobody was watching. Some of you are praying for doors to open, but you wouldn't even know how to walk through them if they opened right now. Why? Because you haven't invested in you. You haven't taken the time to build yourself up to the point where you're ready for the blessing you keep asking for. Stop waiting for the world to give you a chance and start preparing yourself so that when the chance comes, you don't fumble it. Some of you keep losing opportunities, not because the opportunity was bad, but because you weren't ready for it. You keep saying, I didn't get the promotion because they didn't like me. No. You didn't get it because you weren't growing. You weren't disciplined. You weren't mastering your craft. You weren't studying the game. You wanted the position, but you didn't want the preparation. Listen, the world doesn't pay you for showing up. The world pays you for what you bring to the table. And if all you're bringing is the same version of yourself from last year, the same version of yourself from 5 years ago, then don't be surprised when you keep getting the same results. The truth is your value increases when you increase. You don't get paid by the hour. You get paid for the value you put into that hour. And if you're not growing, if you're not developing, if you're not learning, then your value stays the same. I need you to hear me. Your greatest investment is not in a car. It's not in a house. It's not in a business. It's in you. Because even if they strip everything else away, If you've grown, if you've built yourself up, you can rebuild it all again. That's why some people lose everything and bounce back stronger than before. It wasn't luck. It wasn't connections. It was growth. They invested in their mind, their character, their skill. And that investment paid them back when life knocked them down. But too many of you are spending all your energy investing in things that don't last. You're buying clothes to look good for people who don't even care about you. You're scrolling for hours, watching other people live their lives while your own life is passing you by. Not critics. You're upgrading your phone, but you're not upgrading your mindset. You're keeping up with trends, but you're not keeping up with your growth. And then you wonder why you're not where you want to be. It's because you've been making deposits into the wrong account. When was the last time you read a book that challenged you? When was the last time you sat down with somebody smarter than you and asked them to pour into you? When was the last time you pushed yourself to learn something new? Not because you had to, but because you wanted to grow. See, some of you are waiting for growth to just happen. Growth doesn't just happen. Growth is intentional. You have to decide every single day that you're going to put something into you that makes you better than yesterday. And I get it. It's not easy. Growth hurts. Growth is uncomfortable. Growth means facing parts of yourself you'd rather ignore. Growth means admitting that you don't know everything, that you've got weaknesses, that you've got blind spots. But listen to me, the pain of growth is nothing compared to the pain of staying the same. Because when you stay the same, you keep living beneath your potential. You keep waking up every day knowing you were built for more but settling for less. That's a pain you don't want to live with. I need you to stop thinking of growth as optional. Growth is survival. Growth is the difference between you thriving and you barely making it. Life is going to throw challenges at you, storms, setbacks, betrayals, losses. And if you haven't invested in yourself, those things will break you. But if you've grown, if you've prepared, if you've strengthened yourself, then nothing can stop you. You'll bend, but you won't break. You'll stumble, but you won't fall. Because growth makes you resilient. Growth gives you the strength to keep moving when everything around you tells you to quit. And let me tell you something, growth compounds. The more you grow, the more doors open for you. The more you grow, the more people are drawn to you. The more you grow, the more opportunities chase you down instead of you chasing them. Why? Because the world recognizes value. And when you've grown yourself, you don't have to beg for a seat at the table. You'll be invited. So stop putting it off. Stop saying, I'll work on me tomorrow. Stop saying, one day I'll read that book. One day I'll take that class. One day I'll take care of my health. No, one day is not coming. All you've got is today. And the question is, what are you going to do with it? Are you going to keep coasting through life on autopilot, or are you going to make the decision to grow, to invest in yourself, to build yourself into the kind of person who can handle the life you say you want? Because here's the bottom line. Your future depends on your growth. Your family's future depends on your growth. The legacy you leave depends on your growth. And nobody else can do it for you. Nobody else can study for you. Nobody else can discipline your body. Nobody else can train your mind. That's on you. And if you don't take it seriously, if you don't invest in you, you'll always be waiting for somebody to save you, to believe in you, to give you a handout. But when you invest in yourself, you don't need saving. You don't need validation. You don't need permission. You become the kind of person who creates their own path, who builds their own future, who makes it happen no matter what. So the first and most important step in this journey, the foundation of everything else I'm about to tell you, is this. Decide today that your growth is your greatest asset and treat it like it is. Listen to me. Your environment matters. Your energy matters. I don't care how much talent you've got. I don't care how much ambition you've got. If you're surrounded by the wrong people in the wrong places with the wrong habits, you will never reach your full potential. Some of you don't even realize it, but the reason you're drained, the reason you can't focus, the reason you keep doubting yourself, it's not because you're weak. It's because you're leaking energy in places that don't deserve it. You've got to start protecting your energy like it's your most valuable currency, because it is. Your energy is your life force. Your energy determines how you show up every single day. If your energy is low, your vision gets blurry. If your energy is low, your dreams start feeling impossible. If your energy is low, your relationships, your work, your grind, they all suffer. And yet some of you are giving away your energy like it's free. You're entertaining drama, you're entertaining negativity, you're entertaining people who don't even clap when you win. And you wonder why you're tired all the time, why you can't seem to get momentum. You need to understand that who you surround yourself with is shaping you whether you like it or not. The conversations you allow, the company you keep, the voices you listen to, they are either building you up or breaking you down. If you're around small-minded people, don't expect to think big. If you're around people who complain all day, don't expect to wake up grateful. If you're around people who have no goals, no discipline, no drive, don't expect your goals to thrive, because your environment is either fertilizing your growth or suffocating it. And here's the truth. Protecting your energy doesn't mean you're arrogant, not critics. It doesn't mean you think you're better than anybody else. It means you know your worth. It means you've decided that your purpose is too important. Your calling is too serious. Your dreams are too big to be wasted in the wrong places. Some of you are so afraid of hurting people's feelings that you'd rather shrink your life than set boundaries. But I'm telling you, every time you say yes to something that drains you, you are saying no to your own growth. Every time you allow toxic energy into your space, you are robbing your future self of strength. Stop apologizing for protecting yourself. Stop feeling guilty for choosing peace over chaos. Stop explaining why you can't keep going to the same parties, the same hangouts, the same empty places where nothing ever changes. Because let's be honest, you already know those environments aren't feeding you. They're not helping you grow. They're not pushing you to be better. They're keeping you stuck in cycles you swore you'd break free from. And don't get it twisted. Sometimes the environment you need to change isn't just external, it's internal. Some of you are sabotaging your own energy with the way you think. Your thoughts can be toxic too. If all you do is talk down to yourself, if all you do is replay your failures, if all you do is convince yourself you're not good enough, then you are poisoning your own spirit. Protecting your energy also means protecting your mind. It means being intentional about what you feed it. You've got to start monitoring your inner conversation. You've got to start replacing self-doubt with self-discipline, replacing fear with faith, replacing excuses with execution. And listen, sometimes protecting your energy means being alone. Some of you are so uncomfortable with solitude that you'd rather surround yourself with the wrong people just to avoid silence. But solitude is not punishment, it's preparation. When you're alone, you can hear yourself clearly. When you're alone, you can recharge, you can reset, you can reconnect with your vision. Don't run from that. Use it. Because if you can't be strong in your own company, you'll never be strong enough to stand firm in the presence of others. I know it's hard. I know cutting people off, saying no, distancing yourself, setting boundaries, it's uncomfortable. But growth is uncomfortable. And the reality is, not everyone who started with you is supposed to finish with you. Not everyone who says they love you truly supports your growth. Some people love you as long as you stay the same, but the moment you start changing, the moment you start demanding more from yourself, they feel threatened. And that's okay, because this journey is not about keeping everybody happy. It's about fulfilling the purpose you were put here for. Protecting your energy doesn't mean you won't love people. It doesn't mean you won't care. It just means you're not going to allow them to derail you. It means you love them, but you love your future more. It means you care for them, but you care about your purpose more. It means you can wish them well from a distance while keeping your focus on where you're headed. Because the truth is, you can't carry everybody with you. And the longer you try, the heavier you become. I need you to start being intentional about your environment. Pay attention to the spaces you walk into. Do they drain you or do they fuel you? Pay attention to the people in your circle. Are they celebrating your wins or are they secretly hoping you fail? Pay attention to your habits. Are they strengthening your future or sabotaging it? Every detail matters because your energy is fragile, and once it's wasted, you can't get it back. The world will demand a lot from you. Life will pull at you in every direction. If you're not protecting your energy, if you're not careful about your environment, you will run out before you ever reach the finish line. But when you guard your spirit, when you create space that fuels you, when you choose peace over noise, you build the strength to keep going no matter what comes against you. So don't be afraid to separate yourself. Don't be afraid to choose quiet over chaos. Don't be afraid to demand more from the people and the environments around you. Because if it's not feeding your growth, it's starving it. And you cannot afford to keep starving your future. The quality of your life will always match the quality of your environment. Protect your energy, protect your space, and watch your life transform. Listen to me, discipline is everything. Discipline is the real currency of success. Not talent, not luck, not connections. Discipline, because talent without discipline is wasted. Luck without discipline is temporary. Connections without discipline won't last. The only thing that guarantees you'll reach your potential, the only thing that separates those who dream from those who do, is discipline. See, a lot of people want success, but they don't want the responsibility that comes with it. They want the lifestyle, but they don't want the sacrifice. They want the reward, but they don't want the routine. But you can't have one without the other. Success doesn't respond to wishes. It responds to discipline. You can't just talk about it. You've got to be about it every single day. And here's the truth. Discipline is not about what you feel like doing. Discipline is about doing what needs to be done, whether you feel like it or not. Some of you are waiting for motivation. You're waiting until you're inspired, until the conditions are perfect, until you feel like it. That's why you're stuck. Motivation comes and goes, but discipline is what keeps you moving when everything in you says stop. Discipline is the alarm clock that gets you up before the sun. Discipline is the voice that tells you to put in the extra rep, to read one more page, to practice one more time, to keep going when your body wants to quit. Discipline is what builds trust with yourself. Every time you keep a promise to yourself, every time you follow through, you deposit into your confidence account. That's why disciplined people walk different. They carry themselves with strength because they know they can count on themselves. But every time you break your word, every time you say you'll do it and you don't, you withdraw from that account. And eventually you stop believing in yourself, not because you're not capable, but because you keep proving to yourself that your words don't mean anything. I need you to see this clearly. Discipline is the bridge between who you are and who you want to be. Right now, there's a gap between your dreams and your reality. And the only thing that can close that gap is not wishing, not complaining, not blaming others. It's discipline. The work you put in day after day, the sacrifices you make, the choices you commit to, that's what closes the gap. And yes, it's hard. Discipline is not supposed to be easy. It's supposed to stretch you. It's supposed to test you. It's supposed to take you past your comfort zone. Because the best version of you does not live in comfort. It lives in consistency. Every time you push yourself to do what's hard, you build muscle, mental muscle, spiritual muscle, physical muscle. And that muscle will carry you when life gets heavy. The problem is, too many of you want results without routine. You want outcomes without order. You want greatness on sale, but greatness is never discounted. It's full price every single day. And the price is discipline. You can't cheat the grind. You can't talk your way into excellence. You can't fake consistency. Either you put in the work or you don't. And the results will always tell the truth. Discipline is not glamorous. It's not exciting. It's waking up when nobody's watching. It's doing the same drill over and over until you master it. It's eating what fuels your body instead of what satisfies your craving. It's saying no to distractions, no to shortcuts, no to temporary pleasures, because you're locked in on the bigger picture. Discipline doesn't give you instant gratification. It gives you long-term transformation. And let me tell you something, the disciplined version of you is unstoppable. Because when you've built discipline, nothing external can shake you. Discipline makes you consistent when others quit. Discipline makes you focused when others get distracted. Discipline makes you relentless when others settle. That's why the world can't compete with a disciplined person. They may outshine you for a moment with their talent, but they can't outlast you with your discipline. Some of you keep asking, not critics, when will it be my time? When will the breakthrough come? It will come when you've proven through discipline that you're ready for it. Life will not hand you opportunities you're not disciplined enough to sustain. That's why some people get success and lose it. They didn't have the structure to hold it. But when you've built discipline, you don't just get success, you keep it, you multiply it, you protect it. And listen, it doesn't take giant steps. Discipline is about the little things repeated daily, waking up on time, finishing what you start, staying consistent with your goals. Small choices stacked up over time become unstoppable momentum. Don't underestimate the power of small daily discipline. A drop of water may not look like much, but over time it carves through stone. That's what discipline does to obstacles. It wears them down until they can't resist you anymore. I know some of you feel like discipline is restrictive, like it's taking away your freedom. But the truth is discipline gives you freedom. When you're disciplined with your time, you control your life instead of your life controlling you. When you're disciplined with your money, you build wealth instead of debt. When you're disciplined with your health, you build energy instead of sickness. Discipline is not a cage. It's the key that unlocks everything you want. But here's the catch. Nobody can give it to you. Discipline can't be bought. It can't be borrowed. It can't be transferred. It has to be built. It has to be practiced. It has to be lived. And the moment you stop, the moment you slack, you start losing it. That's why you can't afford to be inconsistent. Discipline is a lifestyle, not a season. It's not something you do for a few weeks and then relax. It's who you become. So I'm asking you, what are you willing to commit to daily? What are you willing to sacrifice for the sake of your future? What excuses are you ready to kill so discipline can live in you? Because until you make that decision, you'll keep wishing for a life you're not disciplined enough to create. Stop talking about what you want and start showing up with discipline. Stop hoping for a miracle and start building a routine. Stop waiting for motivation and start relying on structure. Because at the end of the day, the dream doesn't belong to the most talented. It belongs to the most disciplined. Discipline is the price. Pay it daily, and everything you're chasing will eventually chase you. Listen to me. When you grow, when you level up, not critics. When you invest in yourself, it doesn't just change your life. It changes everything and everyone connected to you. You've got to understand that the work you put into you isn't just about you. It's about the ripple effect it creates. Every decision you make to rise higher, to become stronger, to get sharper, to be more disciplined, it lifts the standard for your family, your friends, your circle, your community. Some of you keep telling yourselves, I don't need to change. I don't need to push harder. I'm fine the way I am. But it's not just about you being fine. It's about what version of you shows up for the people you love. Because if you don't grow, if you don't evolve, if you stay stuck, then everybody connected to you gets less than the best version of you. Your kids, your spouse, your friends, your coworkers, they all get the water down you instead of the powerful you. You've got to realize you are a thermostat. Wherever you set your level, the people around you rise or fall to that level. If you're negative, people around you absorb that energy. If you're lazy, people around you start thinking it's okay to slack. If you settle, people around you start settling too. But if you rise, if you chase excellence, if you demand more of yourself, suddenly everybody around you starts to feel that pressure to grow. That's influence. That's impact. That's what happens when you invest in yourself. Stop thinking growth is selfish. Growth is service. The best thing you can do for the people you love is become the best version of you. Because when you're stronger, you can carry more. When you're wiser, you can lead better. When you're disciplined, you inspire others to step up. When you're focused, you create an environment where distractions don't survive. People don't follow your words. They follow your example. And if your example is powerful, you give them permission to rise. Think about it. When you walk into a room full of people, they feel your energy before you even say a word. If you're carrying confidence, they feel it. If you're carrying purpose, they see it. If you're carrying discipline, it shows. You don't even have to announce it. The upgraded version of you speaks louder than any speech. That's why it's so important to keep leveling up, because your presence becomes a testimony of what's possible. Some of you come from families where nobody believed, Nobody dreamed, nobody pushed beyond survival. And you've been waiting for somebody to break the cycle. Hear me. You are that somebody. The moment you invest in yourself, the moment you decide you're not settling, the moment you go from average to excellent, you break generational patterns. You set a new standard. And now the people coming after you don't have to start where you started. They get to start where you leave off. That's legacy. That's impact. That's leveling up, not just for you, but for everyone tied to your name. But here's the danger. You can also pass down mediocrity if you refuse to grow, if you stay the same, if you accept less. Then you're teaching everybody around you that less is acceptable. And then the cycle repeats. That's why investing in yourself is not optional. It's a responsibility. You don't just owe it to yourself, you owe it to the people who are watching you, following you, depending on you. And I know what some of you are thinking. You're saying, I don't have kids, I don't have people depending on me. Yes, you do. Somebody's always watching. Somebody's always being influenced by how you carry yourself. You've got younger siblings, nieces, nephews, friends, coworkers, neighbors. Somebody sees you and says, if they can do it, maybe I can too. Whether you realize it or not, your life is a message. The question is, what message are you sending? When you level up, you attract new opportunities. Doors start opening, not just for you, but for others too. People you don't even know will be inspired by your grind. Somebody will look at your discipline and decide to change their habits. Somebody will look at your courage and decide to face their fears. Somebody will look at your growth and say, if they can rise from that, maybe I can too. That's why you can't afford to stay small, because your growth gives permission for others to grow. But you've got to commit to it. You've got to decide that every level you reach, you're going to demand another. You can't stop at good enough. You can't stop at comfortable. You can't stop at average, because every time you rise, you lift others. But every time you stop, you also put a ceiling on those around you. So I need you to think bigger, to push harder, to refuse to settle, because your life is bigger than you. And don't think it happens overnight. Leveling up is a process. It's making small, consistent choices every day that compound into massive growth. It's staying disciplined when nobody's checking on you. It's protecting your energy when it would be easier to just blend in. It's sharpening your mind, strengthening your body, developing your character brick by brick. And eventually, people start noticing. They start asking questions. They start following your example. And that's when you realize it wasn't just about you. It was about all the people who got permission to believe again because you chose to rise. Your life is not just yours. It's a platform. And the higher you climb, the greater your reach. That's why leveling up is non-negotiable. You don't get to play small anymore. You don't get to hide. You don't get to sit on your potential. Too many people are connected to your decision. Too many lives are waiting on you to show up as the best version of yourself. So stop underestimating the weight of your growth. Stop thinking it's just about your goals, your money, your career. It's bigger than that. When you invest in yourself, when you build discipline, when you protect your energy, when you grow consistently, you create a chain reaction. You become proof of what's possible. You become the example that changes the culture in your home, in your circle, in your community. And when that happens, the impact is endless. Because leveling up doesn't just change your life, it changes lives. And that's the real power of investing in yourself first.